Simply Green.
Good morning, everyone. We are the consulting team from AB Consulting Company, and I'm Kobe. He is Charlie, Melody, and Connor. And to start with, we would like to thank Mr. Killer to give us a chance to work on your case, and we hope our recommendation can help your company. Can help your company to solve
You speak to
your
the,
company
to the whole
problems.
audience, not just me.
So, we understand that you are passionate in the environmental protection, so you keep the ethical and environmentally sustainable business practice in your company, and you make a big success, and your company become one of the leading companies in the bioenergy industry. However, you are long to retire, so you consider these three options to maintain your business. This decision is very important because it determines your company's future development. And after examining your company current situation, we think that company bio is the best choice for your company. So I will now to briefly explain our decision. So firstly, for the issuing an IPO, it is no doubt that you can get a strong financial support, but you may lose the funding values because some of the investors may just focus on your profit, but not about your environmental efforts. So issuing an IPO is not a good option for your company. Secondly, for developing a partnership, it is a very risky choice because if your partner company just focus on your company profits, you will lose the funding values or even your company's reputation. Also, you will lose the autonomy of decision making because you need to seek your partner's company permission before any action you want to take. On top of that, these two options require your extensive attention, so you are not able to retire with such a burden. So we think that company buyout is the best choice for your company because if you can find a suitable mother company to buy out your company, and your company can maintain the green vision even you're retired. But the key point is you need to choose a suitable buyer, and at the same time you also need to actively present your attractive image to the industry to appeal the potential buyers. But we discovered that there are three major problems that your company is facing that will affect your company's attractiveness. Firstly, your company is lack of professional workers to work on the accounting and management. Secondly, your company is not highly recognized in the food industry. And lastly, your company do not have sufficient funds to expand your current operation mode. So now I will pass the time to Connor to talk about the recommendations.
Thank you, Colby. So as Cosby has mentioned before, to secure a successful company buyout, we first have to appeal to suitable buyers. So there are two ways we can do that. But first of all, we can optimize our profitability by updating our internal structure. We can also build our reputation by having more external networking. Additionally, we can also recommend you to follow our guidelines to pursue a suitable potential parent company. So first, let's talk about the internal structure. So as an overview, so the very foundation of achieving profitability and expanding your business is to first have a solid organizational structure. So it allows for efficient communications and division of labor. So as an overview, your company is currently focused more on the frontline operations. Things like hiring a friendly driver is on top of your agendas. However, it is also important to consider the backbone of the operations by having a top management, finance team, as well as staffing your currently understaffed marketing team. So first of all, let's talk about the top management. So top management is important to make important decisions that may affect the future of your company. So it is important to first standardized internal policies. For example, for when a customer wants to purchase your oils, they must first have to prepay for their ordering. This actually fixes a problem previously where customers only required to order verbally but cannot be held liable when they cancel out their orders last minute. And also, hiring policies can also be implemented so that the job applicants have to go through public job offers and job interviews to ensure that the hiring is only based on talent but not based on relationships. Top management is also important in recalibrating the direction of the company. We understand that the founding values of Simply Green is to establish some environmental missions. However, there's been a lack of attention to gaining profits, which led to consistent losses in Simply Green. So we recommend that Simply Green has to at least see mission and profits as equal. And also we have to present a new face of the company, representative of the company, especially after your exit. So you can assess the top managers' visions and abilities and assess who might be suitable to become the next leader of the company. And now moving on to finance team. Finance team is important to monitor the cash flows and identify or solve any problems that might lead to potential losses. For example, the prepaid pre-ordering system that I mentioned before. In particular, managing a professional finance team is vital to manage market risks. For fuel markets especially, the market is very volatile and subject to drastic changes. As you might recall, in the 2008 oil crisis, the plummeted oil prices actually caused a lot of customers to opt out from Simply Green and choose a cheaper alternative instead, leaving Simply Green in substantial losses. So it is important for these professional finance teams to more closely monitor market trends and also have some preventive measures in case of a financial crisis. For example, stocking up financial resources. And last but not least, we also have to staff up your marketing team, because your current marketing strategy is to promote is in form of public education to classrooms or even seminars. And we understand the principle behind this action to educate the general public about green measures. However, while we think that education elements can be retained, we also think that you need to strategically promote your company. This can be achieved in two ways. First is to have a more effective promotion so that your promotions are directed to potential customers of Simply Green, such as people with a substantial buying power and of a pretty high environmental standards. And it is also important to consider having a wider reach of your promotions, such as aiming at larger events like car expos or even fuel stations to promote your biofuels. So now I'll pass on to Charlie to talk about the external measures separately.
Thank you, Connor. So we believe there is still a few aspects that you can work on in terms of external networking for your company. We understand that you built your company based on personalized relationships with your customers and community. And we believe there are still a few ways you can expand this reach, namely networking events, social media, and hosting community or charity events. And the first one being external networking. So external networking is probably the quickest event you can meet companies with similar visions and ideals. And through these events you can share industry knowledge and discuss future developments and directions for this industry. And as you can probably imagine, there will be a lot of prestigious and well-established companies of the same source at these kind of events. So by attending these events and sharing knowledges and interacting with these companies, you can help raise the company profile and build personalized connections. And this will also open your company up to more opportunities such as referrals, advertisements, or possibly future collaborations. And the second one and biggest one is probably social media. In today's day and age, almost all big names or companies will have a presence on social media in one way or another. And most often, these take the form of verified social media accounts on the likes of Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And it is a quick and easy way for you to interact with your supporters and customers. And a good example of this would be the restaurant chain Wendy's, which has built a name for itself for its active interactions on Twitter with its fans and its customers, and has undoubtedly garnered a lot of media attention and business using social media. And you can also use social media to post news or promote upcoming events for your company, since anyone that are subscribed and following you will be notified as soon as you put out a new post. You can reach wider customer base in this way. And you will also, because of the number of people using social media these days, you will also receive extensive exposure just by having a presence on social media. And there is also the feature of tagging, which is when a company or a person appears on another company or person's post, and it is used to identify the other party. And essentially this will serve as free advertisement for your company whenever you are appearing on somebody else's post. And lastly, we believe that you can still build, you can expand your external network by hosting community or charity events. And we understand that you really prioritize personalized connections with your community and the people that you work with. And so we believe that by hosting these events, you can engage the community. And examples of events might be charity runs, benefit concerts, or galas. And this will serve as both entertainment for the people that are participating in these events, as well as a promotion for your company. And through these events, you can also raise funds that to help develop your company, or you may choose to donate it to a charity that you think is suitable. And finally, it is a really good way to build personalized connections with the community and build a lasting impression. And now I'll pass the time on to Melody to talk about buyout guidelines.
Thank you, Charlie. So after Simply Green has reconstructed its internal structure and successfully established a reputable image, it's time for you to seek a potential buyout from a larger company. So we have come up with guidelines for you and your colleagues to go through this procedure. And the guidelines basically advise you to consider three components of the potential parent company, namely having similar visions, being in the same industry, and possessing a sufficient capital. So firstly, we think it's vital for Simply Green and the potential company to have a similar vision, especially on sustainability. This is to ensure that Simply Green could maintain your current environmental and social mission through preserving your current environmental operations and management. If the parent company does not agree with your similar environmental visions, the chances are that they will change operations and management, and your company will no longer be a sustainable company. Besides having similar visions, being in the same industry is also important because Simply Green would be able to rely on a more mature management structure of the parent company. With more experience in the industry, the parent company would be able to help you to improve your daily operations. Also, being in the same industry means that many shared fixed assets could be shared, such as manufacturing sites and technologies. If you and your parent company could share some of these assets, costs can be saved and is clearly beneficial. Lastly, having sufficient capital might be the most obvious criteria because Simply Green desperately needs sufficient capital to maintain your business. As Connie has mentioned before, one of the greatest crises faced by Simply Green is the extremely volatile oil price. With more sufficient capital, Simply Green will be able to withstand the market volatility because you would be able to operate without difficulty even when you face a greater loss. Also, you would be able to expand your operation base with a larger capital, which is one of your goal is to expand your green business. So with the above three criteria, we believe that Simply Green would be able to seek a perfect match parent company, and that Mr. Kaler, you can step out of the company and retire with peace, knowing that your company will continue to prosper. So to sum up, we believe that seeking a buyout would be the best opportunity for Simply Green and for your own desire of retirement. And Simply Green will have much work to do before this buyout. You have to present a positive and reputable image to companies in the field industry. And we sincerely hope that our recommendations will be helpful for your company. And once again, thank you again for giving us this opportunity. And we hope you and your company will have a great future. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that. A lot of information to think about. Now you want to do a buyout. Why a buyout and not an IPO or a partnership?
The major reason why we choose buyout because because of this special situation that the owner wants to be in our case. So we actually want to retire from the operation instead of staying in the business. So buyout we considered it's the only option that would allow the owner to exit the operation. The other two for managing investments and managing another partner would involve the owner extensively in attending to the business.
Okay, well that's reasonable. I'm confused though. Is that much of what you're talking about in terms of recommendations dealt with marketing and external networking, which is also marketing. But if I'm doing a buyout, why should I worry about doing those marketing activities?
As we've mentioned before, because Simply Green is still a very small, medium enterprise, so it is not having a great reputation or profitability to attract these larger companies to buy up them. So it is important to first equip ourselves, having more profitability and having more reputation, so that it's attractive for these multinational larger companies.
Okay, okay, thank you.